Dale pues, creo que ahorita ya estamos. Hola, hello. Yeah, that's right. Okay, English time.
Hello
Focus,
everyone.
Guys. Hi guys. It's our first video live, so we have no idea if you're seeing us like this or like this. So if there is anyone watching us, please let us know. Yeah, we'll turn the camera. Yeah, right. Okay. So hi everyone. Hi from Jada. Or what's the city called, guys? That's a mystery actually. Lerida. Yeah, it has different
I
names.
think that Lleida is in Catalan dialect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
And Lerida is the Spanish name of the city.
Yeah, this is a confusion because we're here for what? For five months?
Yes, around 5.
Yeah, and we still don't know the name of the place. This is a Catalan thing, I think. So yeah, we're streaming from Catalonia, a region of Spain. Quite an independentist. No me sale inglés. Dale pues. Well, we've been asked to talk a little bit of who we are, so we'll start with that, I guess. Jacopo, por favor.
Yeah, I am Jacopo. I'm from Italy. I am 28 years old, and I started this project in February, and half of February, 15, in the middle of February. And I must explain the project.
No, I will talk about it later. You can tell me more things about yourself.
I love the social works, and I'm an educator in my city. And in my free times, I love make like climbing, yoga, sport in general.
A lot of yoga.
A lot of yoga.
A lot of climbing on the walls.
And a lot of climbing when I can, because yet I can make nothing of this because I'm in prison of
Yeah. There is one question that I got myself surprised. You are an educator, like, do you have a degree? Como educador de tempo libre?
Yeah, the both. I make a project in a school with guys that are to risk to social school exclusion, and make another project free time in juggling. With juggling, I teacher of juggling
That's cool.
balls.
You find new things we didn't know. Yeah. You should show it. Okay, people are asking what's up. We're talking about our experience being volunteers, okay? So this is Jacopo. We'll stick to English so far. Laura, tu turno.
Okay.
I was trying to read.
So hello everyone. I'm from Armenia. I don't know, should I say my age? I don't know.
No, well, you can.
Yeah, okay. So I am here for since December. Yeah, the beginning of December, and well, it was a great opportunity for me to come and volunteer here in España, in Spain. I'm talking in general because well, I love Spain. So and I do not really have any background connected with kids, working with kids. Well, I did some volunteering back in Armenia as well, but my degree does not have to do anything with whatever I'm doing right now.
This is actually interesting because from what I've seen before, people really look for someone with experience in the field. So we'll ask a few questions later on. Right, okay, and I'm Kate. I came here pretty much there from China to doing my master's in China. I lived there for 4 years. And well, I ended up here. And I think with the background story, so we'll get into this. So the next question that I jotted down for hours is why have we decided to do it? Like, what brings us here to this project?
Sì, probabilmente.
Well, let's talk about like what brings you into volunteering. Like, how did you end up thinking about doing a year of your life like this?
I discovered a voluntary mentality the last year, and of the job and the travel, and I decided to join in voluntary service.
So what do you think is the most important thing when you're looking for a project? Okay, you decided to become a volunteer. What's the most important thing, a country or a type of project?
The goals is I want a voluntary project in Spain because I started the past year to study Spain, the language Spanish, and for this reason I want to improve my language, my Spanish language, and I want to go to Spain. But I want to make more experience in the job, and I search for this particular project, so it's both the reason is very important for me.
What about you, Laura? What do you hear?
Well, I think it's almost the same connected with whatever Jacopo has mentioned. But well, for me, it's not about my career. It's not about my the background that I have from my university, but it's more about taking a gap year by experiencing new things, meeting a lot of new people, as well as definitely it's about the language. I've been studying Spanish for some time as well, though I forgot everything, so I wanted to come back.
Remember.
To come back to try to get better in Spanish because it's quite important for me. And well, meet new people, the surrounding, the culture, everything was quite important for me. And well, for me as well, I think both are quite important. The organization itself that you're choosing and the country as well. Because if you do not want to live in that country, even though you like the organization, you will not be able to. So.
There you can address, this was my number one motivation after finally escaping from China after 4 years of living in a place where I didn't want to be, the Stockholm syndrome. I was only looking into projects in Spain. Actually in Latin America. But as there are no services like this in Latin America with full funding, I decided to actually do it here in Spain. And my main motivation, it's not a great thing to say, but obviously you're looking for projects. You want to make a difference. Let's use this cliche. But as a person, I believe something motivates you, and my personal motivation was to actually finally polish and learn some more of Spanish. So that was the key. And then when it comes to the project, this is where I regret saying that I was mainly motivated by language, because what you're doing for your project is extremely important. Because I think we three, and there's one more girl, she's not here, well, all of us are basically in love with the project and with the organization, and this is like the factor of the most significance. Because we've heard different stories, and we'll get.
We're
into
really
this.
lucky.
We got really lucky. And now this is the next question that I jotted. How did we look for projects? Like, where did we start?
I Facebook. I was looking for projects on different groups, in different groups of Facebook. So this is how I encountered the very specific one.
Do you remember any names? Let's be helpful.
Not really, but I can share them because, well, actually, if you in the search part you write something connected with EVS or ESC or voluntary service, it always brings a lot, and I subscribe to all of them basically. The ones that were made sense, the ones that were good, that had a lot of followers. So all of you guys, you can do the same. Just voluntary service, EVS, ESC, these words are the ones that usually have a lot of.
What about you?
I searched this project in Facebook too, and but I use also the SC portal, youth portal. I search a lot of organizations in this portal, and I could make me an idea about some project with the SC portal, youth portal, because there is a very good description of the organization and so. But for an immediately request or join immediately in a project is better Facebook, I think.
You mean
To get feedback immediately.
to write to
Yeah.
them, to
To
contact
write,
them?
contact them. It's no. I contact a lot of associations with email, with the SC portal, and they responded me immediately, but in a good time. But no, I haven't a lot of positive answer. And in Facebook is just immediately, because you can write in the chat and they say of you, okay, I have a place, no, I have a place, and it's a little bit immediately.
Okay.
So you basically messaged them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Did you use your CV or motivation letter, or you were
I make a
just like
motivation letter, a good motivation letter in English, and I send my curriculum and my motivation letter every time that I ask for association.
okay?
after you contacted them, after you wrote them, they answer
I
saying
contact,
yes, write us an email and everything.
I contacted them, and when I contact them, send immediately my CV and my
CV.
my CV,
CV.
my CV and my motivation letter.
Okay. Well, in my case, it was a little bit different. I mean, I didn't write them a message. I just they posted a picture where all the information was written. Well, not all, but some little stuff. And they also had this email, and they said, send us your motivation letter and CV if you're interested. So I just did that specifically, and nothing else. And then they answered me after, I don't know, a day or two.
How many organizations did you apply for before getting into this one? Do you remember more or less the statistics?
15.
15.
15.
15?
No.
50. 50.
Wow, that's a
Hold
lot.
it.
That's one.
Just one?
Yeah, I got lucky, yeah. Because I was reading the descriptions, and if I didn't like it or something was not good there, I don't know about the timing or anything else, I just didn't apply. So yeah.
You were spamming.
Yeah, I spam, and when I receive a positive answer, I can choose that I like.
Okay. And a follow-up for you then, how many interviews did you get?
I made two or three interviews,
Uh-huh.
and they accept me in 3 projects.
Okay.
But I don't want a project. I don't understand the real meaning of this project, and I understood that this in the interview, and I say, I must think, and then I write no. I think it's another project. It's not a long project. It's a 6-month project, and I want a longer, and then I don't accept this.
A follow-up then again, because I didn't know you were applying for 50 projects. Did you customize your CV and your motivation letter, or you were just sending a general version?
I make I choose only in this sector. I make
Only in like
only
social.
in social inclusion, and I make because I work in this ambit. I work in this
Sphere,
sphere, and have I don't know. I can make this work, and I have experience, yeah. And I write this letter quite good, and I don't must customize my letter every time.
Okay, so
one for all the projects
because they were from the same field. Okay. What about you, Laura? How did you sort out the projects? Because Spain. Okay, we decided on it because you two also only applied to Spain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not considering any other ones. And then how did you decide on, or how did you choose the topic or the sphere, the field on of the future project? Like, why this? Because, disclaimer, we're working with children and youth at risk of social exclusion. So basically children and teenagers with somewhat difficult background. we'll give you more details later on. So we were looking for only this type of projects, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess mostly. Yeah, me too. Yes, because of my experience in Armenia, I did volunteering specifically with kids with some difficulties who had some difficulties. I mean,
In terms of background.
no, in terms of social problems, like
Okay.
with money basically. This kind of and some other
Underprivileged families. pretty
yeah,
much.
let's say
Okay.
So that's why I chose basically. I didn't really choose, but
They did.
interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Okay. So because before you said that your project and your experience here doesn't have anything to do with your academic background, but it does with your professional background, or
yeah, exactly. Yes.
okay, because this is what they ask on the interview, right? Well, we'll talk about the interviews a bit later, but here I just want to make it clear. So the logic was the country for certain motivations, and then the type of project. Because would you be satisfied, or would you be okay with doing any other kinds of projects? Because by now we know that there are a lot. We know a person who works with monkeys,
Yeah.
and there are I guess
With
we
animals,
met a lot of people during our formación a la llegada, on-arrival training, and we talked about a lot of different projects. What else comes in mind, guys?
The
What other
elderly,
projects?
with adults.
Yeah, with elderly people, with disabled people, animals. What else?
Ambient.
Yes, environmental projects.
Yeah, sure.
And I think there were also people working in organizations like Sfera, for example,
Like?
as our standing organization. Like there are people working in the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that exists.
Obviously, there are way more to it. There are many projects that we're not mentioning, but okay, so that was our sphere, so to say, our idea of what to do. Okay, then. So we were applying for certain types of projects in a certain country, and then motivation letter, a mystery.
Oh, that's the craziest part. I think everyone is lazy to do, basically.
Was yours in English or in Spanish?
English.
Mine was in Spanish.
I'm always in Spanish.
Yeah, I did actually, with a bit of help of my Colombian friend, so I was very lucky to get some help. Yeah, but then actually, I saw this project. What are they asking?
People.
People with monkeys. I think around Madrid, if I'm not mistaken.
Valencia, more.
Oh.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
I know people in Girona.
In Girona.
Girona.
Okay, there are more than one project.
Yeah, there are many actually. So the girl she took the train from Valencia to, I don't know the name. I don't remember the name.
Guys, if you need any kind of this information, we can ask, because we're talking about people that we met on our on-arrival training, and we are in touch with them, and we can actually ask about it.
We are in Spain currently. We are actually doing our volunteering because we're closed up in our houses. The last question. But we're in Spain because
Spain, Catalonia, the city called.
Lleida.
I say Lleida. In Spanish, it's Lerida. Yeah. On the outskirts of Barcelona. No, technically no.
Cool. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Motivation letter. Back to motivation letter.
Yeah, I think it's also.
Did you use any template?
I have read some specific examples because, if you do not know how to write it, the introduction and everything, in general, if you know the basic steps to take, which means, again, introduction, some conclusion, some body paragraphs, then no problems, but you cannot just out of nowhere start talking about something, so you have
It's
to
an essay after all. Yeah, there must be an
Exactly.
internal logic to it. Did you look for any examples?
Yeah, I a little bit lucky because I met a girl that make this project in Italy, my city, and I make it with this with her the letter. Then I work in her association,
Oh,
and I go to the che copre il volontario.
The sending, the hosting
The hosting,
organization?
I go to the part of the hosting organization and I speak with the woman that work in this place and I show her the letter.
So
She correct it.
that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really lucky. I don't think people really
No one
have this
helped me.
opportunity.
I just helped it.
Well, I received a lot of help for this for make the introduction of my request during sessions.
Okay, so basically one advice is to look for someone who has an experience in this and get your motivation letter proofread. This was the last question. Where did you find examples of motivation letters, Laura?
Google?
Google?
Yeah.
You just Google
And actually in
EVS.
Russia, in Sfera, in the sending organization, in this organization for whom we are streaming, there are a lot of blogs, like heaps of really people are posting this and it's all open access. So you can find a few like templates of motivation letters. The thing is that my mistake initially was to try to include everything that I did, including like my 9 jobs at the hostel back there in the university, Well, this is a mistake because it has to be within 1 page. Short and
Yeah.
not 2 lines basically, but like half a page, something like that.
Yeah.
well, a
I think
page,
I
but
made
the
half a page. It's like
the logic of this is not to tell all of your life in this little page, it's just to show that you have experience or interest or background in this particular area, in this particular field. So it has to be still tailored. This is why I was asking if you were modifying your motivation letter. And it has to be personal, I think. Well, that applies to scholarships, to whatever, to the university applications as well. Like you have to include the name of the organization. And I think it's essential to also let them know that you're interested in this particular one.
yeah, that I did as well. So
Yeah.
that's why I think that the question was referred to Google. So you didn't even change the names or anything else. So you didn't.
Or you didn't mention it
I
in
would
your
like to
motivation
reply
letter.
to your organization mentioning the name. Did you do anything like that
when I
in your motivation letter?
No, in the first time, yeah, I write the name of the hosting.
Hosting
Yeah,
organization.
but I 1 or 2 or 3 times I don't remember that I write another name in my letter.
So you were
and I
sending
send
okay.
and also I deleted this part and just send without only with the dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny how we have very different approaches because you were just like, sending, so the quantity, and we were more going for quality.
Yeah.
Because, I also applied for, I applied for 2 organizations. One was, one required like a Spanish, a level of Spanish, como like C2, which is like more than advanced, it's fluent, and by that time I didn't have a spoken practice, I was living in China. So I didn't even hear back from them, but I explicitly stated in my motivation letter that I don't really speak Spanish, but I'm so fast to learn, so perhaps this is not the best approach. And then the second one I used modified CV, modified motivation letter, applied for this organization, and got a positive response. Sorry, that was my second try, so más o menos. More or less. Okay, let's read some questions, because and it's a bit weird because sorry guys. Could you please share the links? Yes, we will. Motivation, and what to write in your letters. Okay, well, let's get from overall motivation and so let's go more specific because we're talking about the idea of being a volunteer, how to choose a country, how to search for projects, how to get a motivation letter done. And now, so how did we get from writing motivation letters and stuff like this into choosing this particular project? Because, well, with us it was different, is that we applied for one and we got accepted. And you said you had like 3 interviews. And how did you choose this particular organization?
This
Yeah. Proste.
Because it's the particular kind of project that I want, and it's in a zone that I think that I like. It's not as small, not small city and not in a big city. I want intermediate city, and so I choose this because at first I want to go in suburban of Barcelona.
Okay.
There is a very good project that I like with it's the same project but only with gitanos.
Gitanos. Gypsy.
Gitanos.
The gypsy people, and I like this. But they say to me that I must wait for I don't know how many time because they write the new project in October, and maybe in February I can ask another time. Also, I receive a good value of this in this association, and then I choose this. I don't want wait a lot of time, and if I wait more time, I can't participate because this the coronavirus.
Yeah, that's
Also,
right.
very
Good
good
luck.
that I choose this particular project.
There was one question about advantages and disadvantages of what?
I mean, of our projects, I think.
Could you please clarify, because I didn't quite get the question, is it advantages or disadvantages of being a volunteer, of choosing this solid project that we're doing?
Yeah.
Well, let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now it's time. Now it's time to talk more about what we do exactly. Yeah, about our project in particular. So yeah, we narrowed down to how we were looking for it, how we got accepted, Now, what is it that we're doing? Some secrets. Actually, in the announcement to this video, I was saying that we've learned how to cook about 30 meriendas. For the kids from 4 to 18. Okay. So we all, and then there is one more girl from France who is now in France for the reasons that you know already. Before the virus thing, we worked on a project of our hosting organization, which is called Proect, Promotora Social, and it's a non-profit organization of the historical center of the city of Lleida in Catalonia. And this organization works with children and youngsters, so that basically span from 4 to 18. So this age gap of children and teenagers in risk of social exclusion. So what does it mean exactly? They are children, teenagers of somewhat difficult family background, and actually we work in one center, Jacopo works at another, and there is a distinction of the profiles of children. We work more with children of immigrants, so to say. They are not recent immigrants. The kids were born here, and they are more Catalan or Spaniards than anyone else. So they are like here. They might look differently, but still they are at risk technically. And Jacopo, you work more with children of Gitanos, with the gypsy kids, right?
A little bit, yeah, but it's a mix. In reality, it's a mix because there are my group 5 or 6 gypsy kids. Another is the kind of background of Middle Africa.
Sorry, yeah,
North of
immigrants.
Africa, but it's a little bit the same.
So yeah, well, this is what we're doing now. We're talking about our particular project, and the duration of mine was initially 7 months for you as well, right? For you 8?
For me, 8, yeah.
Yeah, but now because of the coronavirus, I think they're changing it slightly.
Yeah, it might be a little bit longer, but yeah, it's
For
not
now, we
sure.
don't really know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that was the initial duration, and now I've been here for like 5 months.
And
You
that
thought?
means for me.
Yeah.
4.5.
So our other colleague would be doing her 6. She was like a month ahead of me.
You said 5.
Yeah.
Then it would be her 6.
Yeah, and you just started basically. You worked for a few weeks and then the virus.
Yeah, I worked for 3 weeks and then I stopped. I worked 2 weeks and I make the traveling, the honorable training, then another week, and then stop my voluntary service for the coronavirus.
Well, technically we didn't stop because our organization is amazing. We don't get tired of saying how great they are. They are the best, literally. And they are actually providing us with work. So in theory, we would have to do stuff, like we have stuff to do. This includes videos on, like singing songs with kids. Trying to interact with kids, like always doing yoga. But the thing is, like, the nature of our work is to interact, to intervene, in the process of non-formal education. So basically, kids come to us after their school day is done. So we serve them meriendas, and that would be like snacks. Yeah, so we're preparing snacks for them. They snack, and then there is a part where they have to do homeworks, and we're trying to assist with this, mainly with English, I guess, or Spanish, because homeworks in Catalonia are in Catalan, and that we need some assistance with that. And then after this, there's free time, and this is where we can actually show our potential. This is why we are there. And it depends on who you work with, because I think our trainers, I know who they are, like our superiors, depending on them, they allow you to be more flexible, or they ask you to do certain stuff. So there is a degree of flexibility here and there, but we basically prepare activities for kids.
Yeah, and if we have some new ideas or offers to share with them, they're always open for them. Well, and we never have problems with things. They're actually great.
So we can pretty much do wherever we want. Whether, I don't know, we play ukulele with them, we danced with them, we were preparing for like mini theater with them. Whatever hobbies or activities that you like, you can actually perform it with your kids, pretty much.
Do you have some time to travel around Spain and Europe as well? Maybe some traveling together? Because of the virus, we cannot do that.
No. But actually,
we did a
little
bit.
We did a little bit, but we got lucky because Elise, our French volunteer, came here with her car. So we actually did a few trips around Jeddah. The problem is that, I didn't realize how expensive the trains are here, because remember how we got to Madrid and it was like 70 euros, and the allowance that we have is like 300. So traveling here is, there are ways. You can always find, BlaBlaCar or buses. But you went to France, right?
Yeah, I did. It's kind of traveling for me. So, and I use BlaBlaCars to get to the airport, Barcelona airport, and then even in France I used BlaBlaCars. So basically, this is the cheapest way to travel if you do not have a car.
A little suggestion or a little insight after being selected and living here for a while. Then I was looking then I was googling Jeddah. I was like, it's surrounded by mountains. Oh my god, I'll go to like national parks every week, And I do have my driver's license, so I did get an international one. And I was thinking like, I'll just rent a car and go there, In reality, it's not that straightforward. And the age also in terms of like renting a car and getting a proper security, so it's not that easy. So it is really important to actually check your options. This is what I didn't, because Jeddah is located not so conveniently to travel. Like, that would be quite expensive actually. Because in order to fly somewhere, tickets, you have to go to Barcelona, and that would be another, 20 euro one way, depending if it's a train or bus.
If it's BlaBlaCar, then it's
technically it's not possible. I think
impossible.
Right, it's very technical now about where we are at, but technically, so the project is for 7 months, and we're allowed 2 days per month. As in days off that you can accumulate and then use together. So it's like not a problem to find some time. and money if you can budget well. And our working schedule, there was a question about how our work is organized, like our work week. So we, as in, we told you guys that we work with kids as a non-formal, it's non-formal education, so they come after school. We start at 4 p.m. and we work for 5 hours, so that would be 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. But then during the day, we also have work-related things like Spanish classes that also count as office hours, and we also have some office hours from time to time. So during the day, well, as in during the mornings, we're also pretty busy with this.
Yeah.
But the actual project, I would say the most important part is for the for the afternoons. That's the word. And we are also about to do personal projects, mini projects. For us, it was allocated to us as in the English classes at the colleги. So as volunteers, we are to have personal projects. Do you know anything about it? Because it was not that clear for us.
Yeah,
Okay, because you started pretty recently, right?
Yeah, I start early, and then.
It's 5 days per week. Back to Saturday, Sunday off. Yeah, it's just like a school, and then after schooling activities. About personal project. It was actually not that explicit in our organization, and Laura and I did have experience of teaching English before, and that's why they were like, okay, you guys are gonna teach English. And this is, I think, my least favorite part, because we go to a very specific, very interesting place, which is it's a school, but it's nothing to do with the actual schooling system. It's quite different, and the kids are gypsy kids, mainly.
Mostly, I guess, most of them, but depends.
So it's not like, trying to teach them grammar. It's more like watching them not to be on the streets and monitoring that they actually eat at least once a day. So it's very different from actually present simple, past continuous, it's not quite that. But that's for our personal project. Perhaps there are other options, but we didn't really quite look into this because we were told that has to be done.
Yeah, because we knew English, and so that's all. Even if you have some background, if you have some knowledge of English, then that's the option for you.
Well, technically we're allowed to do other things.
Yeah.
But that was a thing to be done.
So because they wanted to, so that the kids get someone else with knowledge of English, I guess.
And then there was a good question about advantages and disadvantages of our project.
Advantage of
Ventajas y desventajas del proyecto que sí.
I see not a lot of my project for the time that arrived, but I love the hours of the projects. I start at 4 and I have the morning free, and it's very good. And the team of my team, my work team, I love this. I see that in this group there are a lot of potential, and it's very good. And for yet, I don't find bad part of my project, but I don't know. I'm at the beginning, and I can't know what's happening. Yeah.
People are asking if there are only 3 of us in the center. No, there are actually more centers. So we work at the 2 different centers,
and there's one more local volunteer, and then there are educators who are actually people with degree in this, so they're like officially working there. And
internship as well.
yeah, there's one intern in our center, and then apart from these two centers that directly interact with kids, there are more other departments of our organization, so it's actually quite big. But in terms of international volunteers, that's us. There was one more girl from France, and I think she's not coming back because, well, her project was just about to finish. And yeah, and there are actually more organizations like ours in Jeddah, even within one city. So we know 2 more people from Germany who are doing pretty much the same stuff. Laura, can you think about any advantages and disadvantages of the project?
Well, I think the advantage is the people, really. The people that we're working with, they're incredible. I don't know, I'm in love with every single one of them, especially Carlos. And
Carlos is the person who actually accepted us, and he's they're not watching. Stop
no,
flattering.
I'm just being honest. Really, we were really lucky to have them because when we went to the on-arrival training, some people were very disappointed by the project that they got. So that's why I'm just praising them because they are best, and
That's true.
they always help us with every little thing, even if we get some problems. I don't know. They sort it out. They try to find the solution. So that's the most important part for me. This
Our
is the
organization
advantage for
is
me.
amazing, unbelievably amazing. To an extent that this money stipend was, usually we get cash in hand, but this time the money, the money was transferred to his card, European Union thing. And obviously there is a commission if you want to withdraw money. So our organization will later on pay him the commission. We did not expect this, but all these little things, our organization is just, I don't know, unbelievably great. Any disadvantages, Laura?
I cannot really. I mean, if I'm talking about the project itself, I cannot really think of anything that I do not like. Really, I'm not being just nice or anything. I'm just being honest. For me, everything is great. I don't know. What about you?
I think right before the virus thing started, I got into a weird place thinking like, washing the glasses after 30 for the kids having their cacao. It's like, well, I graduated from a master's. What am I doing with my life? But then this thing vanishes very quickly because then you interact with kids.
You appreciate it.
You really see why. You see little changes in their behavior, and to be honest, it's weird, but after working with kids in China for 4 years, I was absolutely sure that this is not my thing, and I don't want to do it anymore. But then here I changed my mind completely, and I can say I got lucky, because this is essentially important to like what you're doing, like this is the essential part. Yeah, because that's like time of your life for, I don't know, a few months. And the only disadvantage that I see now after reflecting on what I said, I really want to go back with my kids. But it's just that the city or the town is not conveniently...
About the project, that's why.
Oh, that's why. Okay, no. In terms of project, there are... our project is amazing. No, I really do enjoy it. Yeah.
But, now you can say, but
I actually, I would do one thing differently actually now, because I was looking for a volunteering project, and I didn't initiate, I didn't try to find out. Well, I knew one organization exists and I really liked it, but I was waiting for the news from them, to see some kind of ad or to see like a poster from them. I didn't get in touch with them. I was like, okay, well, as soon as there is a project, they will, publish it, And then on arrival training, there were actually 4 people from this organization.
which one?
I'll tell you later. Yeah. So I didn't even
even think about emailing them. Not that I regret, my choice. I really like the project, but there is also a thing that you can be initiative and ask about and ask around and gather information because, over in all the cities in Spain, what would I choose?
Yes,
in Madrid.
that's the thing. So yeah, if you have some preferences, like Kate is in love with Madrid, for example, so definitely she should have chosen Madrid over Lleida. But yeah, it's not only about the project. So sometimes you have to pay attention to the city, so where you're actually going. So Google a little bit more. And yeah, there was a question about accommodation.
Yeah, about accommodation. So we live together, we work together, we've been on the cuarentena stuff together, so we're basically like closer than family now. About accommodation, it's a flat. It's a shared flat. And we all have
Separate rooms.
and like a hall. What's that? The living room.
The living room is shared. The kitchen, and we have 2 bathrooms.
So
And everything is fine.
It's fine. It's really nice. Yeah, nothing to say about it really. Yeah, and I've heard different stories of how people, there's conveniencia cosas en plan how people live together and they have issues sometimes. And do we have issues, guys?
I don't think so.
We're very nice to each other. Yes, actually, we got really lucky because spending like a month. We're celebrating a month being locked up together. Yay!
But
The birthday of the coronavirus.
we just got lucky really to be here with each other because sometimes people get issues with I don't know, even because of some cleaning problems or I don't know. So,
That we don't have.
so we do not have that kind of problems. There was another question actually. I am correcting what already during our quarantine.
So technically, we do have stuff to do as in work related. Do we do it? Sometimes, because again, the nature of the project is to interact with kids. It's not that much into planning. Not for us. I mean, our colleagues who actually are employed, they do have to do planning and documentation. We don't really. So technically, we interact with kids. But our organization does provide some things to do. I think they now created a website and they post all the activities, including like PDF worksheets, for kids, so that the parents can actually do something with them. And we benefit to this website. We decided not to do any kind of documents. We just we record videos. Because we can sing a song with them, or do something with English, or yoga, or dancing.
Yeah,
So we have to. What else? Oh God.
After that one was like, don't ask. I don't know. That's a difficult question. Every single one of us has some goals, which we would like to
I
get
think
to.
his story is the most interesting,
Yeah.
but also not
Google
applicable to people who are watching us from Russia because we don't have working holidays.
But he has some other.
No, no está.
¿Qué
¿Qué vas a hacer después del proyecto?
¿Qué haré después de ese proyecto aquí?
Sí.
Digo, en plan, los rusos no tienen este visado de...
Pero no es solo de. He has some other.
A ver, telas.
So what are
Después de ese proyecto yo quiero...
Otro.
Sorry.
Change the
I
button.
changed my mind in Spanish. It's a little bit difficult speaking English. But after this project, I think that I will go in New Zealand or in Australia. I must choose a yacht, and I want to stay here for improve my English because I can't speak very good, and I won't speak better in English. And I think that I will stay 1 year, and then make a trip in the southeast of the Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, like Thailand, Laos, this part, and India for the last part.
And then you have
Quedan 10 minutos.
degree, right? You want to
De...
De
I want to
Sorry.
study I want to study yoga better. I make a first class yoga teacher, but I want to improve this, and I want to stay 1 year. I will stay 1 year in India to study this, and I don't know yet. Then I have a lot of projects in my mind, but this is the early project that I want to spend in my life.
I want to apply for masters. That's the only thing I know. I want to keep going studying, and I want to study in Spain specifically. So I'm going to work on that. It's a little bit difficult now to say anything, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah, we're literally, we're like thinking it because now with the current situation it's not quite clear. I'm personally trying to apply for PhDs here in Spain, but it's not that straightforward. I wasn't able to figure how to actually get a scholarship application, and perhaps now that we're in April it might be too late for students who are from outside the European Union, but but would you say it's crucial for you to stay in Spain? Like this is the option, as in the long-term perspective?
For me, yeah.
For me too. So
Yeah, I think that I spend my learn in my life in Spain. I think it is, but I don't know.
You never know actually. So.
Yeah, that's quite a question actually. We hate this question now as everyone. 28,
Yeah, 28.
27, and
23. No.
go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 4.
Actually, during our on-arrival training, I was surprised, maybe in 27, I was surprised how young people are. There are a lot of people who are doing this right after school, not even like having bachelors, like 18, 19-year-olds. And I think there was only 2 people. Yeah, there were only two persons who were.
I am surprised of the other side.
see.
I think that there are all young people, like 18, 19, or 21 also. Like this. But I choose a lot of older people, like 1 or 2 girls have my age, another 1 year younger, 25, 26, 30. 2 people of 30 years.
Yeah, we had 29 or something like that.
And I'm very surprised of this.
And usually the gender inequality is also very noticeable. What do I say? No, gender imbalance, not gender inequality. Joder, ¿qué digo yo? Perdón. As in, the majority of volunteers are girls.
Yeah, this is right.
And from the guys that are like,
No,
real.
it's like it's just maybe coincidence.
Yeah, I guess it's a coincidence. So we don't have data to make statistics, but mostly girls, right?
Mostly girls.
Mostly girls, yeah.
And the age, when you can apply from 18 years old up to 30 years old. So yeah, someone wrote 24 years old, so it's completely fine. Yeah, you still have 6 years. So it's not.
And there was a question about Erasmus Mundus. Like, what about Erasmus Mundus? I don't know what about it. I mean, it's a master's project, programs, right?
Yeah, it's about masters.
Yeah.
And well, they say that it's
Well,
not only about them.
I know that even though we are sponsored by Erasmus Plus, we still can apply for this masters. But
Yeah, it's not.
well, I mean that's like a master's scholarship, so
It doesn't have to do anything with our
no.
Yeah, it's just
one of the projects.
Yeah, so it has a lot.
And any other questions? What do you guys think you will gain after doing this project? What do you think you will gain as a person? Like, what will change in you after doing this project? What will be different after?
Yeah.
Sí, después de tu voluntariado, ¿cómo vas a cambiar como una persona?
¿Cómo yo cambiaré?
Sí, como tu predicción, tu explicación.
I think that when I finish this, I'm a little bit more open mind, I have another language in my passport.
Your passport.
My passport.
TV?
In my CV.
Check.
This is a big opportunity for work in the world, work about your personal project, because this kind of experience give you a lot must that good work can you when you receive a lot of money is not comparable to the experience that you receive in a voluntary service. I think that because you don't receive a lot of money but a lot of experience, and this is very good, and you can grow up a lot of this with this voluntary service.
Understand? Language, and
Yeah, I guess this is the main motivation.
yeah, obviously. Plus, well, when you're applying for some jobs, when you apply for some jobs in future, I think it will be
An advantage to have this,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So some people do pay attention to that, so it's important.
Yeah, and the certificate that we're going to receive after the project, which is called the Youth Pass, apparently it's also an advantage. As in, well, we'll see to it because we do not have it now, and let's see if it's a game changer in terms of applying for scholarships, right? Like for master and PhD scholarships. Let's see if it makes a difference. But apart from this, I got my personal revelation of how important it is to be where you want to be, and how important it is what you are doing, even though it's not the money motivation that we have here, obviously, but rather children. I didn't even know why hell is in me. Yeah, it's volunteering after all. You're doing this also apart from language and Spain, all this, because you want to contribute somehow. And we see the difference. We see that we are contributing. Yeah. What is the Youth Pass? Youth Pass is a certificate that you're receiving after completing your volunteer project, and it's you can see it as one more point to your CV, but it's actually it's like a statement of the competences that you mastered while doing this project, and apparently it's widely recognized in the European Union. Well, to that we cannot really add yet because we haven't gotten it yet.
But the only thing is that you yourself write that youth pass that.
I mean, well, your organization will like stamp it and stuff.
Yeah, obviously, but you're the one who is going to. I don't know. There will be some questions actually, and you have to answer them. I don't know. Maybe what you learn.
Competences.
Competences. Yeah.
Then your tutor
Should read. Yeah.
read this and correct with you some part of this, and they start this and give you.
Also, guys, did you get any kind of culture shock?
No.
Yeah, I think we all been to Spain before, lived in Spain before, and traveled. And for me, after coming from China, it was like, oh my god, real world again. So it was like a reverse culture shock. I was very happy to be here. For you, it's not our first experience living abroad, right?
Live in another country. For me, it's the first experience I live in another country, but I haven't culture shock.
Because
Very close.
and you were exposed to Spanish culture before.
Been traveling.
Yeah, I travel a lot of time in Spain, and for me it's not a culture shock.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty impossible. Well, no, perhaps for people who have not experienced it. But yeah, it's very
intense because I haven't experienced it the first time.
We have 20 seconds left. Any other insights, any other things you want to say?
Yeah, if you search a voluntary service, good luck, and que vaya bien.
Que se vaya bien.
Que se vaya bien.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do, really.
You should try it out.